Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Warning: this video will contain spoilers for Ahsoka Season 1 and Star Wars: The Clone Wars animated series. This video may contain discussions and/or images of violence, sexual situations, and drug use. Viewing beyond this point is a choice you have made, and you take responsibility for that choice. Thank you, and please have a nice day.
Hello and welcome to this video. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone is having fun, and I hope the universe is treating you well. Today's video we are going to be talking about the Star Wars character Ahsoka Tano. She was created by Dave Filoni and George Lucas. I personally think Filoni had more to do with it than Lucas, but that's just me. The mythology behind it, or the from the interviews and stuff that I've seen with Filoni, basically he wanted to create his own character for in the Star Wars universe. And Ahsoka was originally going to be the Padawan learner of a different Jedi Knight by the name of Plo Koon. However, Lucas, from the Filoni interview that I watched, basically he's like, George, I want to do this. And Lucas was basically like, yeah, that would be a good Padawan for Anakin. And Filoni was like, Anakin doesn't have a Padawan. And Lucas looked at him and went, no, she'll be a good Padawan for Anakin. So that's how Anakin got Ahsoka Tano as a Padawan learner. Which is kind of interesting that, Dave Filoni, could you imagine, sitting there taking all this time, building this character, to be this kind of a your own little side character to put in there. Then Lucas is like, no, we're going to make it a forefront character. And you're like, so you have to go back to the, all the way back to the drawing board. She premiered in the animated Clone Wars movie, then went on to have a significant role in the animated series. She was originally voiced by Ashleigh Eccleston, in the series, and in the audiobook Ahsoka, which is a really good book. I do recommend, if you are a Star Wars fan and a Ahsoka fan, to check it out. It is about Ahsoka dealing with the fall of the Republic and the rise of the Empire and the fall of the Jedi Order. And like day 2 after, after everything went south. And it's a really good book. It's written for, I want to say, probably young teens. It's a good teen book. But the story is good. The story is relatable regardless of age. But it's probably written at about a 15 to 18-year-old level. Like I said, not simplistic, but not Philip K. Dick level or Robert Heinlein level or, you know, any of that type of level. But it's a good solid story. It's a good solid simple story. And it's my understanding that Rosario Dawson, who played Ahsoka in The Mandalorian, live action Ahsoka in The Mandalorian, also in the series, the live action series, from what I understand, she was basically putting herself out there to play the live action Ahsoka from like day one, from the first second that people knew about Ahsoka Tano till she got the part. I mean, that was what she wanted. She just had this, that's the character she wanted to play, and she eventually got it and does a damn good job. Ashleigh Burton, who voiced her in the animated stuff, a lot of people were disappointed when she didn't get the nod for the live action. Which, if you look at the physicality, I think that Dawson was a better choice, just simply because I haven't seen anything with Ashleigh Eckstein, what kind of physicality she has, what she can do, you know, real movements wise. Well, but with Rosario Dawson, she's been in enough stuff, both serious, dramatic, and comedy, and she does have a physicality to her, and she makes it work. So yes, I'm not one of those people that got upset by the casting. Now, the casting in the live action show that surprised me, and I personally think was lightning in a bottle, was Ariana Greenblatt as the young Ahsoka, as the young Padawan in the World Between Worlds scenes in the live action show. Now that, you couldn't have asked for a better casting. Greenblatt was also in the Barbie movie, and she was in the ill-fated Borderlands movie. I liked the Borderlands movie, but I'm not a hardcore gamer, so that's its own video. But that with the makeup and stuff, and well, even looking at pictures of them side by side, you could probably cast Greenblatt as Dawson's daughter in a live action, you know, whatever. It works. And she's a talented enough actress to pull off a young Ahsoka. Now, in the live action series, and I kind of agree with this criticism because it's not really criticism, it's just kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing where they refer to the season 1 of the live action Ahsoka as season 5 of Star Wars Rebels. I will probably at some point do a Star Wars Rebels video, but needless to say, there are characters in that animated series that Ahsoka befriends and has relationships with. And they kind of build on it. There's a lot of stuff that happens off screen between the end of Rebels and the beginning of this live action series that are kind of one of the characters is a character of Hera Syndulla. Hera Syndulla is a Twi'lek. Hera Syndulla is also Space Mom. She is the quintessential mom of everybody that she takes under her wing. And the actress who plays her is wife to Ewan McGregor, the one, the only Space Jesus Obi-Wan Kenobi. And she got the part pretty much because of who she was married to. And no one cared. I don't care. She does a damn good job in the role. But what burns my britches is in the show The Acolyte, which came out earlier this year. I gotta pull my notes up on it, because I do plan on doing a video on it at some point. The director of The Acolyte cast her wife as one of the characters. Rebecca Henderson was cast as Vanessa Rowe. The creator of the series is Leslie Headland. They're married. And a lot of the haters out in the world got their panties in a wad because a lesbian gave her wife a part in a Star Wars thing, a Star Wars show. However, when a straight man gives his straight wife a job, gets her a job, no one seems to care. And that it's that hypocrisy that kind of burns my ass. It just kind of pisses me off. If you're going to be mad at nepotism, be mad at all the nepotism, not just the nepotism that that offends your masculinity, that hits your weak ass ego. It happens. It's Hollywood. It's life. It happens in the job place. It happens nepotism just happens. Suck it up, Buttercup. It's just one of those things that you've got to deal with. And I just had to get that out of my system. When I do a Acolyte video, we'll go more into that, because there's a whole lot of that show was not perfect by far. This show, Ahsoka, isn't perfect by far, but the haters out there that hate on things because it offends, it hurts their little fragile egos, little child boy egos. And that's what a lot of them are. A lot of them are little man-childs out there that the last time they were even close to a vagina was the day they were born. So yeah, it's I don't know, it's deal with it. There are more things in this world than just you and your little incel ego. But let me get off that and get back onto the show, because I could go on forever on that. No, you have Sabine Wren, a Mandalorian artist at that. Ezra Bridger, Force Sensitive orphan. But these are characters from Rebels. These are characters that Ahsoka befriends in Rebels, and they bring these characters back. They bring as Ezra is the main focus of the show. Actually, they're going to find Ezra because of the way Rebels ended. Sabine off screen at some point between the end of Rebels and the beginning of this show tried to be a Padawan learner to Ahsoka, and whatever reason they split, and it was not a good split. Hera went on to become a prominent member within the New Republic. She had her son from Kanan, who was from Rebels. And what I love, and I think this character did not get enough screen time, personal bias, I admit that freely, it's personal bias, is the robot Chopper. Chopper is psychotic. Chopper, like R2-D2, suffers from the robot equivalent of PTSD. This poor little bastard is, I mean, he's a murder bot. I mean, just straight up murder bot. I think him and R2-D2, of all the good guys and bad guys in the Star Wars universe, Chopper and R2-D2 probably have the highest 2 body counts. And they're good guys. Remember that. They're the good guys. I would strongly go back, if you're interested in such things and you haven't already seen the animated Clone Wars series, the animated Clone Wars movie, which is meh compared to, it's better than the I don't know. I'll let you make your own decision. I won't influence you with my biases, but or negative bias. I won't influence you with my negative biases. I will try to influence you with my positive biases. The animated series, Clone Wars, good, great. I feel no matter how good the Clone Wars animated series is, and the 7th season is just chef's kiss, Rebels is better. I like Rebels better because they're their own characters. Almost all the characters. You have cameos by Lando Calrissian, Princess Leia, and a few others. But most of everybody you get in Rebels are original characters, and I like that because Galaxy's big. Galaxy's huge. You're not going to have just Luke Skywalker and Han Solo and that little clique. You're going to have other cliques out there. And I like that. But that, like I said, that's personal opinion. Go watch them yourself. But yeah, the character of Ahsoka, what I love, and I think is probably one of the most important things about the character, in the animated movie, okay, something that I've almost 18 minutes into this video and I haven't touched on for the non-Star Wars fans. Ahsoka is of a race called the Togruta. They live on, they're native to a planet called Sheely. They're kind of one with nature. They just kind of chill. They got minimal mechanization, minimal industrialization, but for most part, they're hunter-gatherers, doing their own thing, just chilling out, and just chilling out in the universe. They don't want any beef with anybody. They're not going to start any beef, but if there's beef started, they'll finish it. Fairly, peaceful, not pacifistic, but peaceful. And that's what she's a Togruta. The Jedi Master Shakti was also a Togruta. They have their horns and their mandrels that grow, and we won't get into that because that is you could do, and there are great videos out there on YouTube if you want to learn more about the physiology of the Togruta. Like hour and a half long videos on just the physiology, but they have orange, anywhere from orange to almost the Caucasian human skin to blue. You know, they're different shades, different colors, and they all get along. They don't seem to let skin color bother them for some reason. You know, something as humans have yet to figure out. But they, you know, and that's what she is. And she's taken at an early age, raised in the Jedi Temple. And with that being part of her core being, she's a very empathetic, very caring individual. And that's part of what makes her a great character. That's what makes the way Rosario Dawson plays her, especially when she goes through what I call the Gandalf moment in the series, where she's almost killed. She falls off a cliff, kind of like a bridge. She winds up in the world between worlds. She's confronted by the Force ghost of Anakin. She goes through those trials, and she comes out the other side, basically Ahsoka the White. She goes from being Ahsoka the Grey to Ahsoka the White, or Gandalf the Grey to Gandalf the White. There is a parallel there. And that parallel, from what I understand, was intentional. They wanted you to connect those dots. And the fact that she can, you know, when the situation calls for it, she can be a brave and noble, fierce warrior. Then when the situation calls for her to be kind and gentle and empathetic, she is. Like I said, she's a wonderful character. And she was introduced in the animated movie as a 13. Well, in the Lucas continuity, she's 13. I think the Disney aged her up to 16. But still, the Star Wars universe has no concept of child protection services. They don't. But she's 13. She's this know-it-all, overachieving Padawan who gets dumped into war. And basically the Clone Wars lasts 3 years. And she emerges out the other side as a very, very through the course of the series. In the movie, a lot of people, myself included, hated her in the movie, the animated movie. Just who, why, what, where, you know, why would they do this? Why would they give us this POS character? But that was Filoni's plan the whole time along. He played us. He did a damn good job of playing us. Then the first probably 3.5 seasons of this series, the animated series, she starts to grow. She starts to realize she's not all that. She realizes that, yeah, you have this raw talent, these force magic powers. You're a space wizard in training, and you know you've got all the space muggles running around you, clones, and that a lot of these non-force sensitives, even though they rely on things like jetpacks and pew-pews and all these things, their experience, their experience on the battlefield kind of negates your special, space wizard powers. And she learns, and by about half to 3/4 way through the 3rd season, she starts to become likable. And at the end of the series, it's like, wow, you've got this, you've got this fully fleshed out, this character you've seen grow. And I think because of Ahsoka and the way Filoni did Ahsoka throughout, 7 years or 7 seasons, about it was a little bit longer. Real time, I think about 8 years, because you had a gap between when it was during season 6 when Lucas sold Star Wars to Disney, or Lucasfilm to Disney, and there was a couple years gap before season 7 was made. I think it's like 10 or 12 years real time, and 3 years Star Wars time. But when she emerges out, at the end, she's this wonderful character. This character you're like, and in some ways she's a hell of a lot more developed character than Anakin or Obi-Wan or Yoda, because we get to see her from basically day one all the way through. And I think because she was so well developed, so well, we got, the fans got to know and grow with her, that when they did the sequels, when Daisy Ridley's Rey was introduced, she got all that pushback against her because they were trying to take this Rey character and compare it to Ahsoka, and this is her first movie. She's she's only going to be in like 3 movies and maybe 4, and you don't have the growth that you do with Ahsoka. And I think Ahsoka, because of this development and this nurturing and that you get this awesome character. You get this development, this just, and I think that in a lot of ways is what caused a lot of the pushback against the Rey character in the Star Wars sequel movies. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up here. Everyone, have fun, be good, and as always, be a good human. Be good to other humans. Peace.
Hey, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?